Alright, we're testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Alright, we're live, and as you guys can tell by the thumbnail, today we're working on game logic and Unreal 5 in C++. That said, I actually realized something while I was working on this thing last week is that I feel like the way I'm actually learning Unreal Engine is getting kind of wrong. So, I thought to actually change my learning style. This time I actually created a whole roadmap that I'm going to be following, and also I'm going to be making some notes while I follow those roadmaps. Okay, so I could actually, go and review those notes because I realized that unlike SDL3 or like 5 games or C++ in general, the Unreal Engine is much more complicated. That's it. I mean, it's my voice real quick. Alright guys, my voice is echoing even on screen. Okay, that's it. Let's go to my main camera real quick. I mean, my gameplay screen real quick. And I just hit you guys down live on Discord. There we go. Okay, let's say something like 6 a.m. live exclamation. Let's go with something like 6 a.m. live exclamation. And yeah, today I didn't have time to work a little off stream and also get a brand new classes chat. There we go. Let me just close my OBS real quick. Okay, welcome back everyone. Today's Naughty Regulars. Oh my gosh, man, my voice is echoing so bad. Welcome back everyone. Today's Naughty Regulars stream. Today we build a foundation that everything else sits on. Okay, let me just get my mic a little lower. There we go. Okay, today we're building a foundation that everything else sits on. No shortcuts, no skipping. Every single person watching this, whether you code or not, pay attention because this is where real programmers are born. Phase 1, Lesson 1, Unreal Engine 5 project structure. Why does this matter? Before we write a single line of code, you need to know where everything lives. Imagine trying to cook in a kitchen where you don't know where anything is. Okay, that is right now. We fixed that today. Honestly, the reason I did actually go with this as well is because I realized that the only time I can really program properly if I have already seen the code or like if I actually know, let's say what exactly goes in the code, if that makes any sense. All the thing that I do like is critically thinking like a programmer and like solving problems that I really can't think of. I think that didn't make any sense. Okay, that's it. Guys, my voice is echoing so bad. Okay, I guess I gotta fill my room with a lot of stuff up here. Okay, when you create an Unreal Engine 5 C++ project, here's what you get. Your project, binary, config, content, intermediate, save resources. Okay, binary is compile code lives here, do not touch. Okay, and guys, I guess I gotta go ahead and grab my notebook up here. Because I realized just reading it doesn't make any sense, I gotta go ahead and write something too. And let me just go ahead and keep that there. Hopefully have enough space, there we go. Okay, let's go with something like my project. So let's go with something like UE5. There we go. Okay, and you guys might see my handwriting here as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like binary, B-I-N-A-R-Y. Okay, so basically binary is compiled code lives here, do not touch. Let's go with something like C-O-M-P-I-L-E-D. So compiled code. Let's go with something like lives here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with something like do not touch. There we go. Okay, so that's basically binary, and the next up is config, project setting files, .ini files. Okay, let's go with something like config. And guys, ignore me if I'm writing a little slow right now. I'm not like used to writing this much because I usually type. That's it, I might get a little faster. Let's go with C-O-N-F-I-G. Okay, let's go with a slash as well, might as well. Config is project setting files, so I'm gonna go with something like project, so project setting files, setting. Let's go with something like files, files. And guys, let me know if I gotta change the way my camera is positioned. Can you guys even see me writing? You guys cannot see me writing. Hold up. So how do you pixel appreciate me joining the stream? Well, I guess for writing like this, I wanna actually see if you guys can actually see me writing. I mean, maybe if you guys are in my horizontal stream, that's when you guys could see me actually writing. Okay, that's it. Let's go. I'll be back here as well. Okay, so project setting files. If I can extend this, can I use this as a stand to write on? I guess that works too. Okay, so .ini files. Hey, what's good, Hi, Strong with appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that's it. If you guys are wondering what am I writing, it's basically I'm trying to make notes and change the way I actually learned Unreal Engine because I realized that Unreal Engine is way different when compared to SDLC, C++, Python, or Python in general. It's much more complicating, so I think that I can't really remember everything. Okay, let's go with something like INI files, FILES. And guys, I realize this is way too uncomfortable writing that way, so I'm going to use the table. Next up, content. All your assets, meshes, textures, and blueprints exist inside of the content. Okay, so let's go with something like content. Okay, content is going to be equal to, let's go with something like all your assets, ASSETS, all your assets, meshes, MESHES, textures, TEXTURES. I really miss Stream. Honestly, I've been wondering but yeah, I miss you as well, Pixel. TEXTURE. Okay, so all our meshes, textures, and blueprints live inside of our contents file. So I'm gonna go with something like blueprints. BLUEPRINTS. There we go. Okay, perfect. And then next up, intermediate. I have worked with intermediate, and most times I even deleted intermediate and saved as well. So temp build files. Temp, what does temp mean here? Do not touch. Okay, let's go with something like INCER. Okay, NETIATE. So intermediate, NETIATE is going to be equal to temp build files, TEMP BUILD. So this is going to be my temp build files, FILES. Okay, do not touch. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go with something like do not touch. And guys, you guys could say that I changed my entire concept the very what should we call it, at the very last second, because I was ready with like, let's say, a third person project, because I thought that I always do a blank project, but what if I start or try with a third person project and I might have some content there. I kind of changed it up because I thought that the way I'm learning is not really getting me anywhere, and that I have like, I think 7-ish more days. All the fact check my math, guys. I think I'm kind of bad at that. Okay, because the 250 days is almost coming to an end, so I gotta like actually get myself up here. Okay, let's go with something like save. That is going to be equal to autosaves, logs, and screenshots. Oh, what happened to audio? Honestly, I actually did a thing. Is the audio still on here? Hold up, guys, let me check if my mic is still working. Oh, it is. Okay, basically what's up with the audio, why is my voice echoing, is because I moved on to a brand new apartment again. Right, this apartment is way more empty and is more spacious, and I don't really have anything in the apartment technically besides my setup, my camera, and my PC. So my voice is echoing, but I will be filling my room with, I don't know, some kind of trash or something. Let's see. And guys, I don't know why this Nightbot just flagged all the messages and a lot of things stuff. Let's go there we go. I think audio is different, to be honest. It is actually kind of different. Okay, that's it. Let's see. So, for my saves, I'm going to go with something like auto save. Let's go with AUTOSAVES. So it auto saves logs, 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 and screenshots, SCRENSHOTS. This is pretty self-explanatory, the save one, because of course I do know what that means. Next, I'm going to go with source. Source is your C++ code lives here. Okay, let's go with something like C++ code lives here. Let's go with something like lives here. Okay, perfect. Once I'm done with this, second lastly, I gotta add your project.sln file. This is something that I worked a lot with as well. So let's see what it does. Visual Studio solution file. I see. Let's go with something like your project. Alright, let's go with something like project. Okay, dot sln file, which is basically going to be equal to Visual 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 Studio STUDIO Visual Studio solution file SOLUTION file. Okay, perfect. So this is going to be basically my Visual Studio solution file, and lastly my project.vu project. This is where I usually generate my files, and most programmers who generate before they start programming or at the start of the day. So this is pretty important as well. So I'm gonna go with something like project. Okay, .cu project, project. Okay, which is going to be equal to my project descriptor file, T-E-S-C-R-I-P-T-O-R. Let's go with something like file, F-I-L-E. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Next up, the most important folder: source, your project header file, your project C++ file, your project game module header file, your project game module C++ file. The most important folders: modular header, modular source, your game mode header, your game mode source. I actually did not know about this part. So the most important folder under the sources section. Okay, so let's go with something like, let's circle source, because I think source is important, and then I'm gonna go with something like most important, IMPORTANT. So most important, let's say folder, FOLDER is gonna be source, SOURCE, and let me circle it here as well, because why not? Guys, let me know if my handwriting is neat. I think it's pretty neat. Every C++ class you create will live inside the source period. Okay, I see. Let's just add a bullet points. There we go. Next up, the content folder, your assets and library. This is where you organize everything inside the engine: content, blueprints, character, maps, UI, VFX, third person, all your blueprint classes, character meshes and animations, your levels. In my maps, UI, UMG widgets, blueprints, all your blueprint classes, characters, character meshes, animations, maps. I see third person templates, assets already there. Sarah's rule number 1, keep your content folder organized from day 1. Messy project is a dead project. I see it. The U project file, this is the heart of your project. It tells Unreal Engine 5 what engine version you're using, what plugins are enabled, what modules your project has. That is going to be important. Let's see. Let's maybe add something like an asterisk here to say it's an important one. So I'm gonna go with something like the .u project. Let's go with U project. So the U project file. Okay, this is the heart of your project. It tells Unreal Engine 5. Let's go with something like heart of our project. project. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with something like tells UE5. Okay, what engine version you're using? What engine, ENGINE, what engine version, VERSION, we're using. Okay, it tells what plugins are enabled. Let's go with something like what PLUG plugins, INGS. PLUGINS. I think I spelled plugins wrong. PLUGINS. What plugins are enabled? NAPLED. Okay, what modules your project has? Let's go with something like what modules, MODULES, your project has. Okay, perfect. Next up. You will probably edit this manually, but you need to know it exists. I think the config folder contains .int files, default engine, engine settings, game settings, input settings. Okay, yes. Quick recap, what you need to remember: source, your C++ code card, content, your assets. I've already showed that. Note taking, make sure you have written it down, the folder structure, where source versus content lives. Saracen says rule number 1. I see. Yeah, hi Pixel, appreciate you joining the stream. I think your room is different. Honestly, because I did actually move on to a whole new apartment. I miss Unreal Engine. Honestly, this is Unreal Engine, but I'm changing the way I'm learning, because before I used to learn by, let's say, practicing more, but I think that Unreal Engine is very different compared to SD or 5 games. So I think I gotta learn I gotta get some kind of foundation before I really try to even get into it, if that makes any sense. Okay, now open your project in Visual Studio and your Unreal editor side by side. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, I guess let me go ahead and plug something, or actually to say something. Do something like sensei. So should I open a blank C++ file? Okay, let's see it. And I guess I'm gonna need some potatoes because I'm kind of starving. Okay, so I just got to open a third-person project. Lucky for me, I've already done that because I was planning to work with third-person projects this week, but I changed it to learning the basics. Okay, step 2. Look at your content browser. At the bottom of your editor, you can see folders. Let's go there. Let's go to my projects. I want to go ahead and open my practice UMG. At the bottom of the editor, you can see folders like third-person collections. Step 3, open File Explorer, go to wherever you saved your project on your PC, open the actual folder in Unreal Engine and Windows File Explorer. Tell me what the folder, okay, tell me what you can see. Okay, I guess let's just go and open Unreal Engine real quick. While it's opening, I need something. Bro, did you have college to go? Honestly, today is like, is it Sunday? I forgot the day today. Hold up, let me check. I think it's Sunday today. No, today's Saturday, so I don't really have college. And plus, it is like spring break, so I'm gonna call it a free for a whole week. That's the reason I might actually upload a few videos on Unreal Engine and still, let's say, how to add movement, because that's the only thing I'm still good at, like really good at. Besides summoning and now even raycasting, I'm pretty good with those as well. That's it, I'm just go ahead and eat this real quick. Why is my potato like an apple? It's just me, or does Unreal always take this long to open? Okay, because it says that it's almost done. Okay, let's see. Okay, I guess let me. Oh, there we go. I've been wondering why it's taking so long to open. Never mind. Okay, hey man, hope you're doing good. I should be good. Hi, been Flipper. Appreciate joining the stream. Okay, let's go here. And now, before the reason I used to never, let me actually set this to be a full window because I feel it's much easier this way, and it's just me, or is it actually lagging really bad? Okay, let me check the stream. Okay, what you working on this time? Actually, I did work on creating a whole Unreal Engine to the roadmap using C++. Now I'm going to be following that while making some notes as well, because I realized that unlike SDL, Python, C++, or let's say Python, Unreal Engine is a bit more complex. So trying to remember every last detail in it gets really hard, so if I haven't written in my notes, then I might actually have a better chance of learning it. Okay, that's it. Let me just open OBS real quick. I want to go ahead and see if it lags when I run the program. Okay, well, I guess lucky for me, it does not really lag. I really thought it was going to lag. I'm glad it does not. Okay, and again, if you guys can't see my entire window, make sure to move on to my horizontal stream. That's where I'm actually displaying my window in a landscape mode. That's let's go ahead and grab. Glad you're gonna say something like. Opening opening my file for my third person class and also the UE5 project. There we go. Okay, and then now let me just go ahead and open my solution explorer here. Let's go to something like documents. And I think it's in documents maybe. Unreal Engine. I'm gonna find my practice underscore UMG. There we go. And then I'm gonna double click and open my Visual Studio. While that's opening, I'm gonna go ahead and exit this. As you guys can see, it is like a brand new Visual Studio project. And why is my voice echoing so much? This is getting so annoying. Next thing you're gonna see, next year you guys are gonna be seeing there might be like a punching bag behind me. Just to add some kind of volume to the room so my voice stops echoing. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and close that real quick. Okay, good. Eyes on me now. Before we move forward, I need you to answer me 3 simple questions. So I know you actually did what I asked you, and you are just telling me what I want to hear. Question 1, File Explorer. When you open your project in Windows File Explorer, list everything you can see inside, just type them out. Guys, type them out is actually kind of crazy. Let's go under testing project and going with practice underscore UMG. Okay, and then content browser inside Unreal Engine 5 at the top. What folders you see inside your content browser? Visual Studio, when you open your C++ file Visual Studio, what files can you see in your Solution Explorer on the left side, specifically inside your source folder? I see. Let's go with something like question 1. Let's answer question 1. So, I see something like I see, let's go with colon, dot vs, let's say binaries, binaries. Honestly guys, I think I'm kind of smart. Let's go with something like a window shift test. Just gonna take a picture. Okay, and not worth writing it all. There. And then let's just paste it. Question 2, let's see, inside your Unreal Engine, okay, content browser, what do I see in my content browser? Whoa, I see a lot. It's taking a whole picture. And then let's go ahead and grab Claude here, paste this. It's gonna be question 2. Question 2. And lastly, I'm gonna go with something like question 3. Wow, it actually auto-predicted I'm gonna go with question 4, but I will not. When you open your C++ file in Visual Studio, what files can you see in the Solution Explorer on the left side? Specifically your source folder. So let's go ahead and open my source folder real quick. I'm gonna go to Unreal Engine Projects, let's go to Practice, and then let's go to something like my source. Alright, this is all I see in my source folder. Let's go with Windows Shift S, take a quick little picture. I could potentially type them out, but I don't really want to type it because I'm kind of lazy. Let's paste it. And then let's go ahead and send it. Now, while it's sending, I might eat something because I'm kind of starving. Okay, you see the C++ class folder, that is very hard. C++ classes, I see this one is critical. Okay, that is where your Unreal Engine 5 shows your C++ code. Inside the editor, that is your bridge between Visual Studio and Unreal Engine 5. Write that down, I see. Question 3, inside your source folder, I can see practice_umg, folder containing your actual C++ file classes. Practice_umg.target.cs tells Unreal Engine how to build your game. Practice_umg editor target.cs tells Unreal Engine how to build the editor version. Now click the practice_umg folder inside your source and tell me what files are inside it. You should have your header file and C++ file in there. Okay, let's go to practice_umg source, and I think I had to click my practice_umg. There we go. Let's go with Windows Shift S, take a quick little picture. There, and then I'm gonna go ahead and paste it. Okay, I can't wait to actually start the real work here. Oh wait, did I send it? There we go. Okay, copyright equals new music. Honestly, that's the reason I have the old music. I mean, if you guys have any copyright-free music recommendation from YouTube Studio, make sure to let me know because I do want to change my music. I've been using this music from 7 months now. That's it. Now we're talking. Look at what you have right there. This is beautiful. Let me break down every line you can. Okay, the files explain build file, practice_umg.build.cs. And this tells Unreal Engine how to compile your module, what dependencies your project file needs. You will edit this later when you add new modules. Write that down. That's it. Okay. Wait, write that down. The files explain build file, practice_umg.build.cs. This is how to compile your module, what dependencies your project needs. You will edit this later. Oh, I know. Okay. That's it. Having Sylvia. Appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, character file, practice_umg characters with header files, and practice_umg characters with C++ files. This is your playable character class, movement, input, camera, all of your. Okay, this will be your best friend. This entire roadmap is a massive roadmap. That's game mode files. So practice UMG game mode, practice UMG game mode.c++. This controls the rules of your game, who spawns, when they spawn, when conditions. Excuse me guys, player controller files, practice underscore UMG player controllers is header. Excuse me again guys. Okay, and practice underscore UMG player controllers is C++ file. This handles the bridge between the player and the character. Input processing lives here. Variant folders, variant underscore combat, variant underscore platforming slash. Okay, these are basically just the platforms and all that stuff. These are the template variations that came with the third-person project, extra example code. You can learn from them later. Knowledge is power, said by Francis Bacon. Okay, now here's your first real task. Open these two files side by side in Visual Studio. Practice underscore UMG game modes header file and practice underscore UMG game modes is C++ file. Okay, I guess let's go ahead and grab my Solution Explorer here. I like 100 FOD. Honestly, is FOD pronounced as FOD? What does it actually mean? That's practice underscore game mode is header files. Practice underscore game modes is header files. Let's open it in Visual Studio 2022. Let's go with always. There we go. And then let's just go ahead and grab my Solution Explorer and open my C++ file as well. Okay, let's go with something like always. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove my Unreal Engine configurations with something like Control-Alt-L. Get my Solution Explorer here. Maybe exited. Okay, and then let's just go ahead and grab plot here real quick. Let me screenshot what you see inside them. Okay, I guess let's go with something like Shift-S, take a picture, grab plot here, paste it here, and go to my header files, Shift-S, take a screenshot from here, grab plot here, whoops, grab plot here, and paste it here. Now, while this is actually being done, I'm gonna... Did I access on the text? Of course I did not. There. Now, while this is being done, I'm gonna go ahead and exit my Solution Explorer because I don't think I'm gonna need that anymore. Okay, well, I guess let's go up here. Now, this is where it gets exciting. Lesson 2, understanding your first Unreal Engine 5 C++ class. Let's dissect the header files first, line by line. Line 3, pragma modes. You know hashtag include from C++. This is a header guard. It tells the compiler only read the header file once, prevents duplicate, includes every .h file. Okay, and Unreal Engine 5 has it. Well, I guess that's something important, so let's go ahead and write it down. Because I honestly did not know what pragma does. I've always seen it, but I've never thought to actually think about what it does. Okay, let's go with something like another asterisk. Let's say something like hashtag PRAGMA. Let's go with something like pragma once, ONCE, and then I'm gonna add a tiny cute little arrow mark under that and say this is a header guard. Let's go with something like HEAZERGUARD. So header guard, and then I'm gonna add a tiny bullet point under that saying it tells the compiler only read this file once. Tells the compiler, COMPILER, so it tells the compiler only read this file once. So I'm going to go with the double quotes and say something like ONLY, only read this file. Let's go with something like file once. Let's go with something like once. Okay, and then basically prevents duplicate includes. Okay, so prevents, let's go with something like PREVENTS, prevents duplicate, DUPLICATE, duplicate includes. There we go. Actually, let's go with hashtag includes, there we go. Okay, I think that's about it. Once I'm done with that, line 5, 6, and 7, the include lines. Core minimal, the bare minimum Unreal Engine 5 types, FString, FName, etc. always included. Okay, game mode base.h, this is the parent class. Your game mode inherits from this. Generated.h, I know what this does. This is critical. Unreal Engine 5 generates this file. It makes UE5 reflection systems work. Always say last, never move it. Okay, I guess I'm going to go in a new page. And now, actually, I've learned something in my college that is always write the date and time. Let's go with something like 3/14/2026. Okay, there we go. And then let's go to the new page. And in my new page, I'm going to go ahead and write the time again. Actually, the date 3/14/2026. There. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and type something like, actually write something like hashtag include, INCLUDE. So gonna go ahead and include, let's say that pair of double quotes, CORE, core MINIMAL, so core minimal.h, okay, which basically does something that I'm gonna write here, the bare minimum UE5 types. Okay, always included the bare minimum MINIMU and the bare minimum UE5 Unreal Engine 5 types TYPES, always included. Let's go with an example. Example PLE FString STRING. Okay, guys, I realized one thing: the capitalization is really important. So it's going to be uppercase F, uppercase S, lowercase TRING. Okay, always included. INCLUDED. Okay, perfect. Next up, game mode basis header files. Let's go with something like hashtag include INCLUDE. Okay, I'm gonna go with something like game mode base.h. Let's go with something like GAME game mode MOTE BASE.h. So game mode base.h, this is the parent class, or game mode inherits from this. Let's go with something like this is the parent class, PARENT CLASS. So this is the parent class, and your game mode inherits, INHERITS, inherits from this. Okay, perfect. And lastly, I know what the generated does, so I'm not going to really write it. Slide 12, uClass abstract. This is a macro. It tells Unreal Engine 5. This is a UE5 class. Okay, register it with the engine. The word abstract means you cannot place it directly in the world. You must make a blueprint child of it first. Okay, I guess let's write something like uClass, CLASS, with a parentheses. What that basically means: this is a UE5 class, so this is a Unreal Engine class, and register it with the engine, REGISTER, register it with the engine. Okay, and that's one more thing that comes with like the let's say the generated header files. The reason that's the very last line in the header file is because without it we would not be able to use uProperty, uFunction, uClass, uEnums, and all those type stuff, because the generator actually is in charge of generating and processing all those files, like the uClass or anything that's prefixed by u and needs to be registered inside Unreal Engine, if that made any sense. The word abstract means you cannot place it directly, okay? Line 13, the class declaration. Class a practice underscore UMG game mode, which inherits all the public content from a game mode basic class. You know this from C++, it is inheritance, I do know it, but notice the A prefix before class name. Unreal Engine 5 naming convention, write this down. Prefix meaning example, a actor exists in the world, example a character. U object, engine object. U health component. F plate structure or data type, F vector. Okay, I interface, I damageable. E enum, E weapon type. T template class, TArray. I see, let's write that down, I guess. Okay, and guys, there's so much more space in this table to actually write it, but excuse me guys, let's go with something like UE5 naming and AMING conventions. Okay, conventions, CONVECTIONS. There we go. And then let's just go ahead and add, let's say, a squiggly line down there. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a table where I say something like prefix, TREFIX, and then I have a meaning, MEANING, okay, and then I have an example, EXAMPLE. I honestly wish that I could have set my webcam to show what I'm writing here. I might really do that, should I? Bye bye, good luck to you. I won't be streaming today because I also work on Unreal Engine 5. I see, honestly, it sounds really cool. Okay, that said, I want to show you guys what I'm writing. Can I do that? If I go to my main camera real quick. Oh, well, maybe I could just go ahead and put that a little lower. There we go. Okay, I think that should be good. And just maybe what if I get this a little lower? Maybe when I'm doing the workout streams, I'll get it a bit higher. There. Okay, I guess you guys don't need to see everything in the back. Should be good enough. There we go. Okay, well, I guess that works. Okay, not bad. Now I can finally get the prompts and write something. Okay, that's it. Let me just go back to my gift experience. And wow, you guys can't see my face at all anymore. It's fine, who really wants to see the whole face? Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead up here. Honestly, I do want to kind of show it though. I guess I'm gonna go to something like what can I just set my that should be a bit higher. There. Okay, that should be good. I'm gonna change it back once I'm having my workout streams. Okay, I guess let's go lower. Can I go a bit lower? Nope, cannot. Let's go lower. Let's get this corner. There. Okay, perfect. Now let's go ahead and work on this. So I have prefix meaning and examples where the prefix A, let's go with something like the prefix A has a meaning of, let's get this a little back. Whoops. There. Okay, prefix A has a meaning of, let's say, actor exists in the world. Let's go with something like actor, ACTOR, which exists in the world. And then I'm gonna go with a character, a CHARACTER, and I don't even know if you guys can see exactly what I'm writing. Maybe this is a lower. Maybe I get that right there. And then I get more space to keep this. I guess I'll leave it data as well. Thanks, Harvey. There we go. In case I was working on U while actually chewing, so it's U object, which is basically U component. And then I'm gonna go with F. I do know that F stands for structure, although I never knew F stands for data types besides floating points. Okay, so I'm gonna go with place structure or data type. Let's go with something like PLAI and structure. STRUCT, place structure, or CATA data type. Okay, there, I'm gonna go ahead and add something like FVector. DECTOR. I feel like FVector is a perfect example for this. That's next up, I have very rarely worked with IR, like interface in general. This is going to be interface, INTERFACE. And then let's say an example could be something like damageable, DAMAGEABLE. Okay, and then E stands for enum. I do know that, so I'm gonna give a meaning of something like ENUM. And then a example is gonna be something like a E weapon type, WEAPONTYPE. Guys, I'm actually kind of loving this today, Because usually whenever I stream, I feel like I'm just working on stuff besides when I used to stream using like SDN or Py games or like C++ or Python. Those used to be a bit fun because they were like easy to understand compared to Unreal Engine. Today's the first day I'm actually trying to feel that I'm really making some progress by really understanding the very basics of it. That's it. Let's go with something like T. T stands for template. Let's go with TEMPLATE, template class, CLASS. Okay, I'm gonna go with TArray, for example, ARRAY. Okay, perfect. Once I'm done with this is one of the most important things in Unreal Engine 5. Memorize this table. Line 15, generated body. This macro is required in every Unreal Engine 5 class. It tells Unreal Engine 5 to inject auto-generated code in your class. Without this, your class will not compile, period. Okay. Now the C++ file include practice_umg game mode stuff. This is the constructor. You know this from C++. I didn't know these things. I won't be writing the things that I didn't know just to save time. Just means empty for now. Notice it includes its own .h file at the top. Always. The more you read, the more things you will know, said by Dr. Seems is it? Quick recap, what you just learned: think, pragma, core minimum, generated new class, generated body, a prefix. Now your task before you move on, open practice_umg characters and header files and tell me what prefix does the character class use? What does it inherit from? How many includes do you see? Open practice_umg character.h. This is game mode, so I'm gonna go with something like Control+L. Let's go there, extend that. Let's go under source, under practice_umg. UMG characters with header files. So I'm going to find practice UMG characters with header files. So there, now my characters with header file consists of 4 headers. And let's rub this back up here. What prefix does the character class use? What prefix? I think it uses A. There we go. Okay, let's go with question 1. Let's go with something like SEILN. Question 1. Okay, it uses A as the prefix for my character class. CHARACTERCLASS. And then let's go with question 2. Question 2. What does it inherit from? It inherits all the public content from my A character. So let's go ahead and say something like it INHERITS inherits all the PUBLIC public content from A character. Okay, and lastly, how many includes do you see? I see 4 includes. Let's say something like question 3. I see 4 INCLUDES. Okay, and then let's go ahead and send this. That said, while it's sending, I might need some more, let's see, potatoes, but I'm kind of starving. Oh, guys. Yeah, I'm just basing some time while I actually chew. Maybe I'm gonna chew again. What up, guys? What number does it say? It's BMWQI. There we go. Okay, that's it. This stream just wants you to read your code. Okay. Never vote and understood it. Do you realize how big that is? Wants to read your code, never vote and understood it. I see. That's our brain starting to think like a programmer. That is exactly what we talked about at the start of the stream. It is already happening. I guess I'm gonna give this a link out here. There, that should be good. Okay, that's it. Question 1. A practice underscore UMG character A prefix equals actor. Your character lives in the world makes perfect sense. Question 2. Class A prefix underscore UMG character which inherits all the public content. Okay, it inherits from a character, a pawn, new object. Write that, okay, write that chain down. That is the inheritance chain of your playable character. Every feature from every parent class is available to you. I guess let's write that. Whoops. Oh, that guys can go ahead and put that there. Okay, let's go with something like so what is the chain called? Write the chain down. Inheritance chain of your playable character. Let's go with something like INHERITANCE. So inheritance chain CHAIN of playable PLAYABLE of playable character CHARACTER. That's it, my name Pipican. Please can you join the stream? Is there a producer named Pipican? Okay, that's it. Let's write the inheritance chain down. So I'm gonna go with something like a character CHARACTER, and then I'm gonna go with something like a pawn. Let's go with something like PAWN, which inherits from a actor. Let's go with ACTOR, which inherits from U object. JECT. Honestly, that does make sense. U object is basically an object, and actor is basically a static, let's say, a static actor that does not really move. Pawn is the mind of an actor. Character is basically a actor with a skeleton and ability to move, and let's say something like jump. Actually, not move, just jump, because like you can't really move your actor unless you don't add enhancement components. Question 3, 4 includes, let me guess what they are. Okay, for minimal. Base types, Unreal Engine 5 game framework / characters, the header files, parent class header, input action value, enhanced input subsystem, generated.h, always last. Am I right? Check and confirm. Yeah, I think it's correct. Okay, lesson 3, data types. You know C++ data types already. Integer x equals 5, floating point y equals 3.14f. Is that pi? The value of pi. Boolean b alive equals true, string name player. In Unreal Engine 5 we use these instead. Integer age 32, guaranteed 32-bit on all platforms. Float same. Unreal Engine 5 keeps is double same. Unreal Engine 5 keeps is boolean same, but prefix with b. Okay, string FString, use Unreal Engine 5 manage strings. Okay, string FName, lightweight for identifiers. String FText for UI text shown to players. Array TArray, Unreal Engine 5 dynamic array. Map TMap, Unreal Engine 5 harsh map. The Boolean rule in Unreal Engine 5. Okay, wrong in Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, we gotta prefix it with b, so saying like b alive, boolean variable alive. B is alive set to true, B is dead set to false, B can jump set to true. Every boolean starts with a lowercase b, non-negotiable. FString versus FName versus FText, know the difference. FString used when you need to manipulate text. I'll go on that in a bit. Firstly, let me just write this down. In Unreal Engine 5, use these instead. We use these data types instead. Let's go with something like UE5 data types, DYPES. Okay, now for my Unreal Engine 5 data types, I'm gonna go ahead and do something. Okay, C++ data types. Let's go ahead Unreal Engine 5. Okay, let's go with something like C++ types, DYPES versus UE5 types, DYPES. And let's kind of square this. Guys, I don't know much about the handwriting because I'm not more of a writer. Let's go with something like C++ type. Let's go with UE5 type. My UE5 looks more like a UES. And let's go with a Y section. For my C++ type, I'm gonna go with something like integer. Let's go with I and T. In the other hand, Unreal Engine 5 uses int32. Let's go with something like int32. Guaranteed 32 bit on all platforms. Let's go with something like GAURANTEED. Guaranteed 32 bits. Let's go with something like bit on all platforms. PLATFORMS. Okay, perfect. Next up is float. It's the same with C++ and Unreal Engine, so I'm gonna go with float, FLOAT. Unreal Engine 5 uses floats as well, FLOAT. Why? Same. Unreal Engine 5 keeps this. I actually forgot adding space. FLOAT. I wish I used a pencil instead of a pen. Okay, let's go with something like same. And then next up is a double. Let's go with DOUBLE, same. Okay, and after double is boolean. Let's go with something like BOOL. And then, oh my gosh, I keep writing it wrong. BOOL. Let's go with something like same but prefix with B. Same but PREFIX with B. Okay, perfect. I think it's a lowercase b, my bad. There we go. Okay, and then once I'm done with that as well, string, FString. So I'm gonna go with something like string. STRING. In the other hand, Unreal Engine 5 uses FString, FSTRING. Okay, perfect. And then Unreal Engine 5 managed strings. Let's go with something like UE5 MANAGET managed strings. STRINGS. Okay, perfect. And then it's FName, lightweight for identifiers. Let's go with something like STRING. Okay. And then I'm gonna go with something like FName and ANE. Then let's go with something like lightweight, LIGHT, WEIGHT, lightweight for identifiers, IDENTIFIERS. Okay, perfect. And then once I'm done with that, we have an FText as well, which I use a lot. Okay, let's go with something like string. C++ uses string for everything. Actually, that does make sense why it does. Let's just lowercase all the s's. And then I'm gonna go with something like FText. Okay, for UI text shown to players. Okay, let's go with something like for UI text TXT shown SHOWN to players. PLAYERS. Okay, perfect. And then array. So C++ uses array. In the other hand, Unreal Engine 5 uses TArray, TARRAY. Okay, Unreal Engine 5 dynamic array. Let's go with something like UE5. So Unreal Engine 5 dynamic NAMIC array, ARRAY. Okay, and then lastly, a map. I have never worked with map in Unreal Engine, but I have worked with it in C++. I think it's used for something like dictionary. I'll fact check me on that. Let's go with something like map. Unreal Engine uses TMap. I wonder, does the T usually? Oh wait, I made a tiny typo in the T array. It's gonna be T uppercase ARRAY. Even in TMap, it's gonna be TMAP. Now here's the thing. Does T stand for temperature? Okay, Unreal Engine 5 harsh map. Let's go with UE5 HARSHMAP. There we go. Okay, now the Boolean rules in Unreal Engine 5. I do know the Boolean rules. Well, have you tried beeline already? Honestly, I have not tried beeline yet, but I will be trying it after the stream. I'm starting to actually get a pretty good gist of Unreal Engine now. That's FString versus FName versus FText. The only difference, FString used when you need to manipulate text. Let me go to a new page. I keep forgetting to write the date. It's 3/14/2026. Okay, let's go to the next page. Let's go with something like 3/14/2026. There we go. Right, I should probably go with 0. 3 is fine. Okay, now let's go a bit up, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a comment. Should I use the page horizontally or like vertically? I think I'll go with horizontal because that gives me more room to write. Okay, let's go with something like FString, so FString versus, let's go with FName, FName versus FText, TEXT. Okay, so for the difference FString, I'm gonna go ahead and write a comment that says something like FString. Okay, for my FString comment, use when you need to manipulate text. Okay, let's go with something like use when you need to manipulate manipulate, use when you need to manipulate text. Okay, and then let's give an example. I'm gonna go with something like FString. I think I'm gonna add a bullet point. That's fine. Okay, but I'm gonna go with something like player name, PLAYER and of course it is capital case. Keep chewing my left lip. It is capital case because it's C++. Okay, so player name is gonna be something like text, TEXT. The text is function. There I have a pair of parentheses, a pair of open parentheses, double quotes, John, and then I'm gonna close my double parentheses and close my double quotes and my parentheses, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm gonna go with something like FString combined. Oh, combined is another variable. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go with another STRING, where I'm gonna go with something like COMBINED, where my combined is gonna be equal to, let's go with something like a text. Okay, which is going to be something like hello. And then I'm going to close my double quotes, close my parentheses, plus, let's go with something like a PLAYER name. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and end up with a semicolon. The result is going to be hello, or let's say something like hello, John. There we go. Next up, FName used for identifiers, bone names, tags, asset names. Faster than FString, not for display. FName bone, FName hands_r. Does that mean right hand or something like that? Okay, hey, where do you live? Honestly, I do live abroad, but I can't get my exact country name. Let's see. Let's go ahead. I wish I had different color pens. Let's add another comment that says something like FName, FName. Okay, there I'm gonna go ahead and use it for identifiers. Let's go with something like use for IDENTIFIERS, used for identifiers. Okay, bone names, let's go with something like BONENAMES, bone names, tags, TAGS. Asset names, let's go with ASSETS, assets. Did I go with assets? Asset names, NAMES. Okay, and then so this is faster than FString, but not for display. I'm gonna add another comment that says something like FASTER, faster than FString. So I'm gonna go with something like STRING, faster than FString. However, it is not for display, TISPLAY. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and actually add the code. Let's go with something like FName, which is going to be NAME, there we go, which is going to be, let's say, represented by a local variable. I keep messing up my spelling. FName is going to be represented by a local variable called something like phone name. I'm gonna go with, I missed up. Oh, phone name, okay, I was correct. BONENAME. There we go. Which is going to be equal to my FName. I'm going to go with something like NAME. I'm going to open my parentheses. go with a pair of double quotes. Type something like HANT_R. I'm assuming that means right hands. Right hands. I'm going to close my pair of parentheses and enable a semicolon. Next up, the final thing, FText. Used for text shown to the player, UI, and subtitles. That makes sense. I have used it before. And then supports localization. I see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add another comment that says something like FText. Let's go with FText. And then I'm going to add a hyphen that says something like used for text, TEXT. Okay, let's go with something like SHOWN, shown to the player, PLAYER. For example, UIs or subtitles, SUPSTITLES. There we go. Okay, so it's UIs and subtitles. Supports localization. I do not know what that means, but I'm gonna ask him. Let's go with something like SUPPORTS. It supports LOCALISATION. There we go. Now to actually write the code example, FText, which is going to be represented by a local variable called display name. So I'm going to go with something like FText. Okay, and then DISPLAY. And then let's go with something like name that is going to be equal to FText, which uses the scope resolution operator. This is something that I have used before. I'm going to go with something like from string. I have not used the from string, string. Basically, where I use my FText is that whenever I wanted to display some kind of G-engine add-on screen debug message to my window, I used to go with something like, let's say, FString with its scope resolution operator, print F with a pair of open or with a pair of parentheses. Inside the pair of parentheses, I used to write the text function and add a text that I want to really display on my window. And that's technically about it. Okay, I'm gonna go with something like the text, TEXT, text function. Okay, wait, I think I missed the text function. TEXT. Then open my text function, go with something like PLAYER. Okay, let's go with layer 1. Close my text function, close my pair of parentheses, ending it with a semicolon. Okay, the text macro, FString name player, wrong. Correct is going to be FString name text player. Text ensures your string works on all platforms, always wraps your string literals in text, not always. Okay. TArray, your new best friend. C++, integer score with a pair of square brackets, file. Excuse me guys, that is how we used to create arrays in C++. In Unreal Engine 5, before that I might write this. Okay, let's go with something like an important note here. With an asterisk, let's say something like text ENSURES ensures your string STRING, so text ensures your string works WORKS on all platforms PLATFORMS. Okay, always wrap your string literal in text. KALWAYS, always WRAP, wrap your string SPRING, literals LITERALS, always wrap your string literals in text. TEXT. There we go. Okay, perfect. Once I'm done with this, I'm gonna move on to TArray. For TArray, I'm thinking I'm gonna go to a new page. And this time I'm gonna use a string. Let's go with 3/14/2026 for the dates. And in that, I'm gonna go ahead and add, let's say, a heading called something like TArray, ARRAY. For the TArrays in C++, we go with something like that. Unreal Engine TArray dynamic managed powerful. Let's add a comment that says something like UE5 TArray, TARRAY, is, let's say, dynamic, DYNAMIC. It's managed, MANAGED, and lastly, it's powerful, POWERFUL. Okay, so the way we actually create an array, which it is basically the same way as we create vectors in C++. I just realized that we use a pair of angle braces and type something like I want to create a, let's say, scores is the vector, which is going to be an integer. All the difference here is that instead of going with vector with a pair of angle braces, I go with the array with a pair of angle braces. Instead of going with just a integer data type, I go with a 32 data type, which gives me a guaranteed 32 bits. And I represent it by an array called scores, instead of representing it by a vector called scores. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like TArray. Let's go with TARRAY. With a pair of angle braces, I'm gonna type something like int 32 to having 32-bit, close the pair of angle braces and represented by a array called scores, SCORES. And then I'm gonna end that with a semicolon. Next up, scores.add 100, scores.add 200, scores.num, scores.remove 100. Okay, returns how many items. So I'm gonna go with something like, let's say, SCORES scores the add function. This adds something to my array. I want to go ahead and add 100 to my array, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm going to go ahead and add 200. Let's go with SCORES dot add. I want to go ahead and add 200 to my array, ending with a semicolon. Then I'm going to go with something like scores, SCORES dot the num. Okay, let's go with something like num with a parentheses to invoke the function, ending with a semicolon. Right beside that, I'm going to go ahead and add a comment that says something like returns. Let's say something like returns how many items, returns how many many items, items. There we go. Okay, and then lastly, I'm gonna go with something like SCORES scores.remove. Keep working, brother. Honestly, appreciate your comments for that. Actually means the world to me. I guess let's keep working, guys. REMOVE. Okay, this is basically going to be in charge of telling me how many items I want to remove from my array, which is going to be 100. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and end that with a semicolon, add a comment that says something like REMOVES removes item. There we go. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. TMap, key value pairs. I knew it, I actually called it. Remember when I was writing my, let's say my data types, I did tell you guys that TMap reminded me of dictionary. So that's what I've used in C++. Okay, like a dictionary literally stays here. Okay, let's go ahead and add another subtitle or another title that says something like TMap. Under my TMap, after I underline it, key value pairs. Key value pairs. Okay, I guess I'm gonna add a squiggly line here. Okay, and then let's go ahead and add a comment up here that says something like a dictionary. L-I-K-E, like a dictionary. D-I-C-T-I-O-N-A-R-Y. Okay, so basically to do it, I gotta do it exactly the same way as my arrays and vectors. Okay, I should remove vectors from mine, that's just for C++. I should do it like array, but instead of going with the array, I go with something like TMap. M-A-P. Okay, with a pair of anchor braces that say something like FString. F-S-T-R-I-N-G. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a comma. I see it. Oh, that makes sense. I want it to be an integer value. I go with int 32, so my whatever I want to store here is gonna be guaranteed 32 bits. How many bytes we got? 8 bit is 1 byte, so 32 divided by 8 should be 32 divided by 8. 2, 4s are 8. 2 ones are 2, 2 6 are 12, 2 2s are 4, 2 8s are 16, 2 1s are 4 bits. There we go. So 32 bytes is 4 bits. No, 32 bits is 4 bytes. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be key value pairs. I'm going to close my prof. anchor braces, and then represented by a TMap called player score, PLAYERSCORE. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use a semicolon. Once I'm done with that, I might eat some potatoes because I'm kind of starving. Alright guys, let's go ahead and set this from here. There we go.
To my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling.
Okay, there we go. And guys, if I just open this card and then while I'm chewing, it's because there's nothing else to do, literally. Okay, that's it. Now under my TMap, I'm gonna go ahead and write the actual source code where player score.add adds a text. This is how we add stuff to our dictionary. So I'm gonna go with something like player score. Let's go with PLAYERSCORE. Okay, actually let's change that to scores plural. Okay, so player scores dot add. Inside my add function, I want to go ahead and add a text. Okay, where my text is gonna, let's say, be something like John, JHON. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close my parentheses, add a comma. My value is gonna be 500. John has 500 points. Ending with a semicolon, or John's score is 500. Oh, Sarah. Klaus is actually in here. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like PLAYER, player score, SCORES, dot add. I wanna add another content inside of my TMap's array. There, I'm gonna go ahead and have a text called Sarah, SARAH, and Sarah has 999 points. Okay, let's go with 999, ending with a semicolon. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest, led by Benjamin Franklin. That's a quick recap table. Write this down. More numbers, decimals, true/false, manipulating text, the ASCII/bone names. Wait, I don't think Claude literally means bone names like, I think the leg bone is called femur, like that. And then UI, display text, dynamic list, key value pairs. Now your task, answer these 3 questions without looking it up. Number 1, you want to store a player's name to display on a health bar in the UI. Which type could you use? FString, FName, or FText? It's gonna be FText. Let's keep that there. Let's go with something like question 1 is FText. Okay, and then let's go with something like question 2. You want to store a list of all enemies currently alive in the level. What Unreal Engine 5 type do you use? I want to store, so I'm gonna go with something like array. TArray. Okay, minute of anchor braces. Again, then let's go with something like a question 3. Write me the correct Unreal Engine 5 to declare a boolean that tracks whether the player is sprinting. Boolean of is player PLAYER sprinting SPRINTING. And then let's go. And then let's send. Okay, let's see. Nearly perfect. Let me show you something. Question 1, FText player name. Okay. FText is correct, no station good. Question 2 correct, but incomplete. TArray. What I needed is TArray a enemy. Oh, I see. You got the type right, but in Unreal Engine, TArray needs to know what it stores. Since enemies are actors that lives in the world, we store a pointer to them. That asterisk matters. Write that down. Okay, let's go with something like, okay, TARRAY, TArray with the growth angle braces called a ENEMY with an asterisk close it. ALIVE-ENEMY asterisk ASTRIX Duh, I forgot how to spell asterisk. Duh, I think I'm gonna go a bit higher. ASTRISK matters. Cause 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 pointer POINTER. There we go. Okay, perfect. Question 3 correct, but one typo. Boolean is player sprinting. Correct spelling SPRINTINT. Why did I write sprinting? Okay, the logic was perfect, the prefix was perfect, just a spelling error and the real code typos like this causes bugs that take hours to find. Always double check your spellings. Okay, 2 out of 3 fully correct. Incomplete. 1 incomplete, 1 typo. That is still an incredible result for your first Article Legend 5 Data Types lesson. Before we move on to lesson 4, one more thing you need to know, uProperty macro. This is how you expose your C++ variables to Article Legend 5's editor. The most common ones. I think I'm gonna go with this part next stream, but this stream I do actually gotta go. Okay, I'll go. Do I really wanna? Let me actually check the time. Okay, here's the thing. I might go with this part. Okay, real example of how you will use it. Okay, let's see. Before we move on to lesson 4, one more thing you need to know. uProperty macro. Actually, I might work on this next stream. Let me just go ahead and do that real quick, or maybe there's some time. I'll go here. Okay, let's see. So this is how you expose your C++ variables to Article Legend 5's editor. I'm really confused because I do got to do some other stuff too. That said, I guess there's enough time. Before we move on to lesson 4, one more thing. Okay, let's go with something like uProperty macro. This is how you expose your C++ variables. Okay, so let's go with something like a uProperty. So uProperty macro, macro. And then I'm going to go ahead and underline that heading. And then let's add a tiny comment under that saying this is how you expose your C++ variables to the Article Legend 5 editor and blueprints. Let's go with something like, this is how, okay, let's go with something like YOUEXPOSE. This is how you expose your C++ variables, VARIABLES. Okay, this is how you expose your C++ variables to the Unreal Engine 5 UE5 editor, EDITOR. Okay, and blueprints. Let's go with something like and blueprints, BLUEPRINTS. There we go. Okay, that's that. We have a comment. This variable is invisible to the editor. It's 32 equals health. Let's write that real quick. Let's add a comment, say something like INVISIBLE, so invisible to the editor, EDITOR. Okay, which variable? Let's go with something like int int 32, which is basically a 32 bits which is basically 32 bits. That represents a local variable called something like health, which is equal to 100 ending with a semicolon. And then this variable shows up in the editor. So I'm gonna add another comment. Let's say something like this variable, variable. Okay, this variable shows up, SHOWS, shows up in the editor, EDITOR. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and write the action code that says something like UPRO. Okay, it's all uppercase for my uProperty, so I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that and write UPROPERTY. The uProperty function, okay, which requires a few, let's say, specifiers. The first is going to be edit anywhere, EDITANYWHTRE. I want to go ahead and be able to edit my health anywhere. And I want my health to be blueprint read write. I want my blueprint to be able to read my health and write my health. So let's go with a BLUEPRINT, read and write, WRITE. Okay, and then let's just go ahead and close it. Now, the most common use property specifiers. Whoa, I guess let's write that. Okay, most common, let's go with COMMON. Most common use PROPERTY. Most common new property specifiers, SPECIFIERS. Okay, and then maybe I'm gonna just add a squiggly line here. Okay, so I'm gonna add a table that says specifiers and renaming. So I'm gonna go with specifier, 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 and renaming, NEAMING. There. Now for my specifier, I'm going to be having edit anywhere. So let's go with something like edit EDIT, edit anywhere, ANYWHERE. Okay, the A is going to be uppercase. You betrayed GPT Sensei. Guys, actually betrayed GPT Sensei is kind of crazy. The reason I moved on to Claude is because ChatGPT does reach its limit when I actually send a lot of pictures. That's the reason I started Gemini as well, but then I kind of love Gemini because I realized Claude is so much better when it comes to explaining and learning the code. So I did not really betray it, it's just a different, let's say, upgrade, I guess. Okay, let's say this is gonna be anywhere. Okay, I guess let's just extend that and go with something like EDIT, edit ANYWHERE. So edit anywhere, edit in editor, and in place instances. I see. So I'm gonna go ahead and write something like EDIT, edit in EDITOR in editor, and let's go with something like and in placed PLACEZ instances, INSTANCES. There we go. Next up, edit defaults only. I have learned about this, but I didn't really use it practically as much. So this is going to be kind of fun. Okay, let's go with something like edit defaults only. Okay, I'm gonna go with something like EDIT, edit defaults, 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 ONLY, only, which basically edits only in the blueprints, in the blueprint defaults. I see. Okay, let's go with something like edit only. Let's go with something like ONLY, only in the blueprints, the BLUEPRINT, edit only in the blueprint defaults, DEFAULTS. Okay, and then visible anywhere, I use this a lot, so I kind of know what this does. Let's go ahead and skip the line and go with something like VISIBLEANYWHERE. Basically what the edit anywhere does is see it but cannot edit it. Okay, let's go with something like see it. Okay, but excuse me guys, but cannot CANNOT, but cannot edit it. EDIT, edit it. There we go. Okay, and then second to last, blueprint read write, which can read and write from blueprints. Okay, I'm gonna go with something like BLUEPRINT, blueprint READ WRITE, blueprint read write. Read and write from blueprints. Let's go with something like READ, read and write, WRITE, okay, from blueprints. From BLUEPRINTS. And lastly, blueprint read only can only read from blueprints. Let's go with something like BLUEPRINT, blueprint read only. There we go. Okay, perfect. I gotta make sure my spellings are correct. Okay, that's correct so far. Can only read from blueprints, so I'm gonna go with something like can only read, READ, from blueprint. BLUEPRINT. There we go. That was pretty much easy from here. And next up, a real example of how you will be using this. I guess I'm going to be writing some actual code. Okay, I guess let's go to the next page. Before I move on to the next page, gotta write the dates. Let's go with something like 3/14/2026. And then let's write something like 3/14/2026 again. Okay. So this is real examples. Let's go with something like EXAMPLE of what was the example of U property specifiers of the UPROPERTY There we go, and then I'm gonna add a squiggly line here. Now for these specifiers, I'm gonna go with something like U property PROPERTY with a open parentheses. There I want to be able to edit my max health anywhere. Let's go with something like EDIT edit ANYWHERE. I want my max health to be blueprint read write, so I'm gonna go with something like BLUEPRINT READ WRITE. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and create a floating point variable, which actually is an int32 variable. int32 is a 32-bit variable called max health, MAX HEALTH, that is going to be equal to 100 and with a semicolon. And then once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and create another U property for edit anywhere, only. These are using all different data members, so I think that's worth writing. Okay, I'm going to go with there. Let's add another point that says U property PROPERTY, where I want my movement speed to be edit anywhere. Okay. Okay, it's really lovely. That honestly sounds really cool, Pixel. Yeah, let's go with something like EDIT ANYWHERE. And then I want my movement speed to be blueprint read write, so I'm going with BLUEPRINT. Okay, let's go with something like READ because I want to be able to read and write my blueprints. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my blueprint speed, where this U property is going to be represented or is going to be consisting of a floating point variable called something like MOVE Let's go with something like speed. That is going to be equal to 600 points and with a semicolon. Okay, next up I'm going to be needing another U property, PROPERTY with a open parentheses. I'm going to go with something like EDIT edit ANYWHERE. And then I'm going to be adding something like a blueprint, PRINT, read, write, WRITE. Okay, there, now my boolean, this is going to be a boolean U property, so I'm going to go with something like BOOL. And here's the thing, all boolean variables in our dimension must be prefixed by a B, so I'm going to go with something like B is ALIVE. This is going to be lowercase s. That is going to be equal to true, ending with a semicolon. And lastly, I'm going to add another U property, PROPERTY, okay, which is going to here, let's say the edit anywhere, so I'm going to go with something like edit anywhere, ANYWHERE, and then I'm going to be adding something like blueprint, PRINT, read write, READ WRITE, and this time, this is something new that I have rarely used. Actually, I don't think I've ever used this. Oh, and I started cramping. Okay, hold up guys, let me just get my cramps off real quick. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna, whoa. There. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add something like a FString. So I'm going to be having an FString, which is going to be represented by a local variable called something like PLAYER NAME, player name. Okay, that is going to be equal to the text this function. I want to add a text. Let's say the text that I want to add is going to be something like PLAYERONE, which is player 1. And that's about it. Every variable you want to tweak in the editor needs U property. Write that down. Okay, let's go with something like important. IMPORTANT. Okay. Every variable. Okay, every variable that you want to tweak in the editor needs U property. Every variable that you want to tweak, TWEAK, tweak in the editor, EDITOR, needs a UPROPERTY. There we go. Let me add this in a box, I guess. Okay, perfect. Now your final task for this open practice_UMG in header file, scroll through it and tell me, can you spot any U property macros? Okay, wait, actually, I might want to work on this next stream because I think I literally gotta go this stream. So let's say something like, sensei. Okay, I think that I might, MIGP might need to SP right now because I do got some work to do. Dot. That's okay, we can CONTIE continue where we left off next stream. So, okay, we can continue that next stream. Let's end it. I usually ask the face, but let's take this time to actually give some kind of goodbye thing. I don't think I really got a time for that. That's fine, but listen to me first. Success is not owned, it's rented, and the rent is due every single day. I see. Okay, we're gonna check on this today. Before next stream, your homework, go through your practice_UMG, collect your header files, and identify your property. Identify UE5 data types you can spot. Write that down. Okay, next stream we cover U function macro, logging with UE5 logs, and then we move into the big five. I wonder what the big five might be. That's let me go ahead and go on to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that's pretty much it for the stream. Is my stream lagging because my Unreal Engine is open? Just like zip my Unreal Engine, I guess. There we go. I think that fixed. Okay, it did not. I guess I want to fix my camera before I do not. So, but guys, just go a little higher. There we go. Okay, I think that's good. Alright guys, so basically that's pretty much it for the stream. If you guys enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and get this on my screen. Okay, if you guys enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, like it, my ads, and share, make you smile, subscribe, like it. Okay, sharing makes you smile, subscribe if I can turn it on. That's it's on podcasting on Twitch, YouTube. I will start podcasting on TikTok and Instagram as well if I didn't meet followers requirements. If you guys enjoy my content and haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me there. The link is going to be in the description. And also my Discord server, that's where you can talk to you guys, chat with you guys, have general conversations. Also give you guys my roadmap. The link will be in the description. You guys can get access to my Discord server through the link in the description, through my bio, or by tapping exclamation Discord on chat. Same goes with my socials. That's it. I'll see you guys in my more video. Peace.